Hello guys and welcome to 7.4.1. This is the first of our 7.4 walkthroughs. Hope you guys enjoy this one. This did take me a few tries to try and work out which was the easiest path. I do think this one, beginning with Invisible Woman with the Rust and Ruin, Warpath and Shake It Off nodes on here are the easiest. But yeah, you do need some maybe potentially specific counters for this, especially for this Invisible Woman. She's pretty annoying. She was maybe the hardest one on here just because she was constantly invisible. So Professor X did a nice chunk of damage and a good piece of work on this one. So he made it a lot easier. What are the nodes for this one? We've got Warpath, which is when the attacker purifies a debuff, the defender gains a Fury passive. So you want to just try and avoid all champs who nullify buffs. This is because if the attacker intercepts the defender, all Fury passives are removed and the defender is inflicted with a degeneration debuff, dealing 100%. However, if you don't necessarily need to have the nullifiers on here, because skill attackers purify one debuff whenever they dash backwards, those actually count as nullifiers, so skill champs work really nicely for this path. The defender also has aggressive, which obviously means they're just more aggressive, heavy attacks and dash attacks. And they've got Rust and Ruin as well, so when the defender is struck, 40% chance to inflict an armor break. If the attacker has 5 or more of these armor breaks active on them, they are consumed and turned into an indefinite armor break. You can just use this as free healing. That's pretty much what I did with Willpower. It doesn't really matter too much if you you take some damage into the block, but obviously you can purify these with skill attackers. So champs who are really, really good for this path are champs like Killmonger, Black Panther, Nick Fury, Mole Man, Hitmonkey. Those are off the top of my head. And then you've got really, really good champs for this are Aegon, Kingpin, and then Black Widow, Deadly Origin. So they all work really nice for this path. Is definitely one of maybe potentially the easiest paths on this. You obviously start with this Invisible Woman, who, as I said, is a bit of a pain, but it becomes a lot less easy, a lot more easier. What you've also got on this path, I believe, is the units. I don't know that for 100%. I can't remember, but I think you do. This seems to be quite a common theme in my videos coming up, all of the 7.4 videos, as I try to take units on most of them because they just make up for the revives that I end up using on the boss. As I said, you can do this reviveless. It's not too tricky, but it will take a few attempts. If you've got lots of energy refills, then obviously you can retry. Me, I don't have loads of energy refills, but I do have a few units that I'm happy to spend. I want to get to that Kang. I'll happily try that out a few times, but I'm not interested in doing these fights. I just want to get to that Kang because I'm really enjoying doing each quest, and I don't mind paying the 120 units each time if I'm returning 90 units. So in the end, it all works out. You've also got a Man-Thing, and I believe there's a Scarlet Witch, both putting poisons. Immortal Abomination is really, really good for this fight. So is the Overseer. The Overseer obviously doing the direct damage. Obviously, I have them both, so that makes a lot. Obviously, the skill attackers with the Purifying when they dash back as well, that can come in handy with the Shake It Off node. So, this is potentially utilised more towards skill champs, but you can, I didn't have many skill champs I wanted to bring in. I don't have yet a top tier skill champ, one of those top 3, top 5 champs in the game in the skill class. So yeah, for me, I just thought I'll bring in good counters to this fight, and you basically shut down the node. All it really is armor break. So yeah, it's not too tricky if you've got the right counters for each fight. This is one of the easiest paths on here, especially with all of these counters. If you bring in counters to each fight, like obviously the Overseer for Abomination, Immortal Abomination for Man-Thing and Scarlet Witch, then it's a relatively easy path, and it has nothing really that will trip you up. Maybe the Scarlet Witch, she's a little bit tricky, but again, it's the Sigil Witch, so she's not as maybe difficult as Scarlet Witch Classic. They're all of the fights for this path. There aren't many tricky ones apart from that Invisible Woman. If you've got a Nick Fury, he'll really ace that fight with his miscounter. So yeah, skill champs, a Nick Fury, Shang-Chi, Kingpin, Black Widow, Deadly Origin all work really, really well and are all really, really effective for this path. I will now leave you guys with the rest of these fights and see you in the boss fight. I hope that little breakdown has helped you out and you now know which counters to bring in. Hey guys, so we're going to take on to this Darkhawk fight now. He has a few nodes on here that are a little bit annoying, a bit more specific. So he's got buff Connoisseur on there, so he only takes damage from champs with prowess on. So obviously your Professor X's, your Kitty Prides, your Bishops work really well for this. But it's also got buff Synthesis, so you've got you get a Fury every time you parry or put a well-timed block in, and then by dashing back or dexing you get that precision, so that will also gain you a prowess. So your Black Widow Deadly Origin for this one will be really good, as she gets quite a few precisions and can combine them to make those active prowesses. Really, I would just say keep him to his SP1 because that's easy to dex the first hit, and also the SP2 does make him sometimes go invisible and auto block, which are both two real annoyances. So I would definitely say keep him to that SP1, try and avoid that auto block, build up your prowesses, and then take him out that way. You do need champs with prowesses, but at the same time you can bring in champs like Gallon and other good cosmic champs, Hercules, because you can get that buff Synthesis, increasing their special attack by 50% per prowess. This Darkhawk is also armor break immune, which is really annoying. I couldn't bring in Null because obviously that's a main sort of form of Null's attack is those armor breaks. However, there are quite a few good counters for this Darkhawk. Most cosmic champs will work. He does have the protection on him as well, but obviously that is from the special Connoisseur, so it's not something you should be worrying about too much. Apart from that, there really aren't too many more nodes on him. He's not actually that difficult or complex. Shouldn't have taken any revives. I might have used one here, but it really wasn't necessary. Again, I could have just replayed this path and I would have done perfectly fine. It was just at the time it was getting I really wanted to run through these, and so that was sort of the way I played it. Again, this boss, not too complex. You should be able to take him out. Good counters are any cosmic champ or champs with prowess. However, that is all for this video. I have nothing else to add. You'll see the rest of this fight here. It doesn't take too much longer with that buff Synthesis built up of prowesses, especially with Kitty Pride. But I believe I bring in Gallon and he sort of finishes this off. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I hope they're helping out. This is the obviously first for 7.4. I'm hoping to get these out in a row. Maybe we'll get some of the new content on Wednesday out. That might have already been by the time you're watching this. But then we've also got the new quest coming up, which may take some time. So I'll get these out in and around that upload schedule. But if these are helping you out, do leave a comment. Please do subscribe, and then I know that you guys are enjoying these videos and that you want them to, you want them up sooner, and I can definitely do that. Thank you again for watching. I really appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Have a good day. Goodbye.